Welcome back to the 1000 kg challenge. The garden is changing fast. Seriously, the plants are growing like they've got a secret gym membership. The cabbages are spreading out like they're planning world domination, and my garlic? I don't know what's happening, but I think I might have accidentally grown a garlic tree. I mean, just look at this thing. It's towering over everything else. But today, we've got a busy schedule. We're harvesting radishes, planting cucumbers, and getting our zucchinis in the ground. And let's not forget, every kilo we harvest counts towards the 1000 kg challenge. So, let's get started. Time for some radish action. These little guys have been in the ground long enough, and today they're finally getting their moment in the spotlight. Let's see how many I can pull. If vegetables had a fashion show, radishes would definitely win best dressed. And the best part? These guys grow so fast. Just a few weeks ago, they were tiny little sprouts, and now they're ready for harvest. Finding these radishes is always a bit of a treasure hunt. You never know if you're going to pull out a perfectly formed one, or some tiny little thing that looks like it gave up halfway through growing. See what I mean? Radishes are one of the fastest growing vegetables out there. In just 3 to 4 weeks, you can go from tiny seeds to crisp, spicy radishes ready to harvest. They're perfect for beginners, don't need much space, and thrive in almost any soil. Plus, they're great for filling gaps in your garden while you wait for slower crops to grow. But radishes do come with some challenges. If the weather gets too warm, they can bolt, shooting up flowers instead of forming a nice round root. Too much nitrogen? You'll get beautiful leaves, but no radish underground. And if you wait too long to harvest, say hello to tough woody radishes that taste more like disappointment than dinner. The secret to perfect radishes? Cool weather, steady watering, and harvesting right on time. Get that right, and you'll have a crunchy, peppery harvest every time. Oh, what do we have here? Some little blue beetles just hanging out. Now, I don't know if they're multiplying or just having a cozy little cuddle session, but either way, I feel like I'm interrupting something. I'm gonna let them be. Just don't eat all my mint, guys. Now, over here, we have the cucumber seedlings, and, they're not doing too great in these tiny trays. They're too tall, they're tipping over, and they're basically screaming, "Plant me already!" So, today, they finally get a proper home in the garden. Okay, let's get the first cucumber seedling into the ground. First, we need to loosen the roots a little bit, gently so we don't damage them. There we go. Before planting, I made a little cross in the soil, kind of like marking the perfect spot on a treasure map. That's where this cucumber is going. Now I gently dig out the hole, making sure it's deep enough for the roots to settle in comfortably. I lower the seedling in, checking that the base of the stem is just at soil level. Too deep and it might struggle, too shallow, and the roots could dry out. A little adjustment, Perfect. Now I press the soil lightly around it to secure it. In place and done! 1 cucumber planted, a couple more to go. Next step, training it to grow up a string for support. This is important because cucumbers love to climb, and if you don't give them something to grow on, they'll just spread all over the ground and take up a ton of space. Trying to do this one-handed while holding the camera, not my best idea, but we got it. And just like that, all the cucumbers are in the ground. They've got space, they've got support, and now all they need is water and sunshine. Grow, little guys, grow. Now, just like the cucumbers, these zucchini plants have completely outgrown their trays. They're flopping over, desperate for more space. And today is the day they finally get it. Zucchinis need a little extra care when planting, so we've got to make sure the roots are nice and settled. There we go. Carefully into the hole. Gently pat down the soil around it, and done. Zucchinis need a little extra care when planting because they grow fast and take up a lot of space. If you give them a strong start, they'll reward you with massive harvests. Before planting, I loosen up the soil a bit to make sure the roots can grow deep and strong. Zucchinis love rich, well-draining soil, so if your ground is too compact, they might struggle. Now I dig a hole, deep enough for the roots to sit comfortably, but not so deep that the stem gets buried. The key here is to plant it at the same depth it was growing in its seedling pot. Too deep, and the stem might rot. Too shallow, and the roots could dry out. The roots need to feel secure, but they also need space to breathe and expand. Now, zucchinis don't really climb like cucumbers do, but I'm still going to try and guide them upward a bit using a string. Nope. That did not work with one hand. Okay, I'm going to put the camera down and try that again. And just like that, zucchinis are in the ground. These plants grow fast, so in a few weeks, they'll be taking over this whole section of the garden. All right, time to get these zucchinis, courgettes, into the ground. Now, these guys may look small now, but trust me, in a few weeks, they'll turn into absolute monsters. Give them an inch, and they'll take over the entire garden. Like they're auditioning for a plant-based horror movie. I'm spacing them out properly because zucchinis don't like sharing. Put them too close together, and they'll start fighting for space like siblings in the backseat of a road trip. Plus, good airflow keeps them happy and helps prevent any moldy disasters. Now, getting them out of these little pots is always a delicate operation. You don't want to yank them out like you're pulling a loose tooth. That's a great way to ruin your plant before it even starts. Instead, I give the pot a little squeeze, tip it over, and let gravity do the work. Look at those roots. This one is definitely ready to move out of its tiny apartment and into its dream home. Into the hole it goes, nice and snug, but not buried too deep. I press the soil down gently, kind of like tucking it into bed. But not too tight because nobody likes to feel suffocated, not even courgettes. And that's it. In just a few weeks, these little plants will be pumping out so many zucchinis, I'll be leaving them on my neighbor's doorstep like some kind of vegetable. Look at this. This little zucchini seedling is still holding onto its seed shell like a security blanket. Sometimes plants just don't want to let go. If this happens, you can gently remove the shell, but if it's still attached firmly, it's best to leave it alone so you don't accidentally damage the plant. Either way, this guy is going to be just fine. Moment of truth. How much did we harvest today? All right, the radish harvest is in, and now it's time to see how much we've got. I've got 2 bags here. First one is 3.9 kilograms. And the second? Exactly 5 kilograms? That brings us to a total of 8.9 kilograms in our first harvest. Ting, ting, ting! That's a solid start. And that means we are officially on the board for the 1,000 kg challenge. Only 991.1 kilos to go. Easy, right? Can't donate them covered in dirt. Time to get these radishes cleaned up. This part is always satisfying. Washing them off, seeing that bright red color pop, and just imagining how good these are going to taste. And that's it for today. We harvested our first big batch of radishes, got the cucumbers and zucchinis into the ground, and took a big first step toward the 1,000 kg goal. All these radishes are going to be donated to Stichting Wits in Den Haag, which means we're not just growing food, we're also giving back to the community. And with spring in full swing, things are only going to get crazier from here. The plants are growing faster, the harvests are going to get bigger, and the real work is just beginning. Want to see if we hit 1,000 kg? Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And remember, you can grow it.